A criminal investigation, and why didn't they go in and get the evidence that they needed? They had that footage there from the robot which showed that it was safe to go into the mine. Sure, it was safe to go in a nitrogen filled part of the mine, but that's how they got the seal at 170 done, and that's what the staged re-entry is all about. Go in another 400 to 500 metres,
do another seal.
Fill it with nitrogen, put another seal in.
Fill it with nitrogen, put another seal in. Yeah.
Before you know it, you're at the end of the drift.
I'm just about to talk to the police about why the footage has come out. It came out last night, we're seeing it today. What's going on? What would you like to say to them if you were able to talk to them?
Look, if I was able to talk to them, I'd say all we're asking you for is the information that you've got, that you've based your decision on, the decision to say that entering the mine is unsafe. If it is unsafe, then show us what you've got, because everything that we've seen and been told to date supports a safe re-entry.
Carol Rose, who took the minutes at the Pakeha family meetings and whose son Stuart March was killed. Now, the Police Deputy Commissioner for National Operations is my friend. I asked him why it took an official Information Act request for the footage to be released to the families of the dead.
I should go back a step, actually, and say that right from the outset, the police have been well aware of the need to be prioritising the support for and meeting the expectations of families. And on reflection, I look back over that process, because I wasn't involved directly with Pike River, and I think they've done a stunning job. I mean, if we haven't met expectation of some, then that's disappointing, because I can tell you from my review and reflections on what happened back then was that they worked extremely hard, and that includes, for instance, making sure that families were aware on a day-by-day basis what was happening at the mine and what information they might be able to glean as a consequence of what was happening in the mine. And that included letting them know in advance where that was possible, what probes were going to be put into the mine, and what videos and what robots were going to be deployed. So the family knew what was happening in advance, knew to expect that there would be these images and debriefs available, and in fact, throughout the process, we're seeing excerpts from that video right through the process up until the time of the commission.
Look, this is such a strikingly different version of events, and I'm just bewildered by it. And so I want to put it on the table. We've spoken to family member after family member, we've spoken to lawyers, we've spoken to everyone we can talk to this week, and no one has seen that striking footage of the man walking along the drift, except for Daniel Rockhouse. He is the only person who's told us he has previously seen it. None of the rest, and I've lost count of how many people we've spoken to. So how can your version of events be so different from the version of events?
With regard to that specific imagery, we're talking about imagery taken from a robot deployed on the 15th of March 2011. That's after the police handed over the ownership of the mine to the receivers. So that happened on the night. So the police were handed that video subsequent to the deployment of that robot. So we had possession of it. The family knew in advance it was going to be deployed, and were told after it was deployed that it had been deployed. And as a part of the process leading to the commission of inquiry, and actually from the outset of the investigation in response to the explosion, they had seen excerpts from various images.
But they haven't seen an excerpt with a man walking up the drift. Now, he is wearing bog standard industry overalls. His hands are bare. He has on breathing apparatus, yes, but there seems to be no other concessions whatsoever to the dangers of the drift. Now remember, there are 29 men somewhere further up beyond there, and the families have been repeatedly told the drift
So that wasn't the case. Now I've spoken to the staff and staff like corners of the world now from a police perspective, and they're as upset as everybody. They're now being accused of deceiving the family members when that's absolutely and nobody understands it. If anyone understands it in the police, I'd be surprised how important it is to keep these people afraid.
Like the police national operations coming up on Checkpoint, the Sun's Royal Photographer Arthur Edwards on Prince Philip and his retirement, and a call for health chiefs to do more to bolster Dunedin's fragile neurosurgery service. Don't forget, you can text us 2101, you can tweet us at Checkpoint RNZ, we're on Facebook, of course, email checkpoint@radionz.co.nz. A really busy week with feedback, and we appreciate it. It's really good to hear from you. 5. Thank you for doing this. The government says the chances of banishing the new plant disease myrtle rust from New Zealand are slim, but it says there is no choice but to try. The Ministry for Primary Industries, the Ministers for Primary Industries and Conservation were in Kenny today to meet the nursery owners who spotted the fungus and blew the whistle. Lois Williams, this report from Kenny.
We've just come for our first season's planting, and it's been a shock to see
it at one end of the spectrum. The Guardians, pretty tough take on him. If he were playing Mr. Philip Windsor, he would be seen as a tiresome old top. At the other end, praise for the Duke of Edinburgh Awards and for a life of public service with a smile, said the Telegraph's headline. The Sun has called him the Duke of Hazard, but seems to regard him as one might regard an elderly uncle, given to saying whatever he wants to say. The more serious tributes will come, of course. Few people outside the palace have seen him as often as Arthur Edwards, the Sun's very famous photographer of the royals, 40 years in the job, 7 royal weddings, 4 funerals, and 7 royal births. How does he describe Prince Philip?
Well, he's very gruff. He's very abrupt. He doesn't do small talk, and he's been an amazing consort, I suppose. I mean, the thing about Philip, Prince Philip, which I've always seen in my pictures, is he's always standing behind the Queen. He's always been there for, almost 70 years now. He's his consort. I mean, they're 70 years married this year, and that in itself is just a great achievement. But many things, I was with him yesterday at Lord's when he opened the new pavilion. I was photographing the engagement, and as he walked down the steps of Lord's, like one of the couple of things that opened he was just effortless, no help, didn't have no balustrade. He just walked down there, got on with it briskly, and I was surprised when they made that announcement this morning, because one thing that struck me yesterday, that even though he's 96 next month, he's incredibly fit. That's a man incredibly fit for his age. He's just unbelievable, which I suppose is quite amazing. It's amazing these days to see a man at that age just walking and just carrying on like he has all his life.
But that was a lovely phrase you used. I was with them yesterday. Are you with them when you take this photo, as you have done so many times over so many years? Really with them? Or does he just tolerate you?
He just tolerates everybody in the media. He knows that you've got a job to do, swear that. But he's just focused on what he's doing. Like yesterday, he was so happy because he's president of the MCC, and to go and open a new stand, it wasn't engagement for him, it was a love. And talking to the old cricket, Mike Gassing, he was talking to, and Angus Fraser, two famous English cricketers, and talking and holding different cricket bats. One Everton Weeks batted with Lords, and another one David Gower, and he was chatting, and he was very full of knowledge. And I thought this morning, we'll now be able to go to Lords for a couple of test matches this year and sit there and just enjoy it and not have to worry about anything. Before, you'd have to go and shake hands with the visiting team, with the Queen, and be an engagement. But now you just say, I'm going to the cricket today, love, and get in the car and go down there. And you know what? Good luck with it.
Do you think he would say love? I mean, when he said I'm going to the cricket today, love, would they talk to each other? Right behind us.
Well, I think they're affectionate to each other, I mean, it was the last overseas trip they did, which was 2011 to Australia. I remember that last day in Perth, and they were just going through this big. They took us a big barbie, and they were the last game before they called the plane home. And the way there was one picture I took, which he was giving her flowers. He got flowers of a child who missed seeing the Queen, and he brought them over to the Queen. And the look she gave him, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was just, after all them years, you could still look at someone like that, and still, obviously there's warmth pouring across this, in the middle of this huge
speaking to us earlier today. Coming up on Checkpoint, a jury has found daycare supervisor Lynn Abraham guilty on 10 of 11 charges of assaulting children in her care. Our court reporter Edward Gay joins us immediately after Nona. And a row over plans for Auckland hoteliers to pay sharply higher rates appears to have worsened. We'll have more on that from Tom Love. All of that with the 5:33 in the mid headlines. Here's Andy Thomas.
Thanks, John. The daycare supervisor and teacher accused of assaulting children has been found guilty of the majority of charges against her. Lynn Euphemia Abraham was cleared of an assault charge relating to sellotaping a child's mouth shut, but found guilty of the 10 other charges that included smacking and force feeding. The Crown says Abraham wasn't coping under stress and assaulted the children over 4 years. Seeds from the plant and tree species that could be affected by a deadly disease are being put into a seed bank as a precaution. The airborne fungal disease has been confirmed in young Puhutakawa in a kiri nursery, which has been quarantined. The pathogen can kill all members of the myrtle family. That includes Puhutakawa, Rata, Manuka, Eucalypts and Feijoas. The police say they have acted transparently with the families of the 29 men who died in the Pike River mine disaster. Police today released 13 hours of footage taken inside the Pike River mine, some of which shows a robot and 2 workers inside the mine's access tunnel. They say they have not tried to mislead the families. The Auckland City Missioner says he's appalled that people sleeping rough are having sprinklers turned on them. Several inner city buildings, including a private school, use the automatic sprinklers to deter people from sleeping in their doorways. The Auckland City Missioner, Chris Farrelly, says he feels for the shop owners, but cruelty is not the answer to a complicated problem. People living on Vanuatu's northern islands are being told to stay indoors until tropical cyclone Donna passes. The Category 3 storm is already bringing heavy rain and high winds in Tonga province, where a church and many houses have been destroyed. It comes less than a month after Cyclone Cook and 2 years after the Category 5 cyclone Pam, which caused widespread destruction. And that's the news.
Thanks, Anna. More on lots of those stories coming up. But let's turn to business news first with Nona Peltier. Hi, Nona. The country's 3rd largest rest home operator, Oceania Healthcare, has debuted on the New Zealand Stock Exchange.
It did. Well, actually, pretty good. There was a good turnout. There were the bell ringing. It's been a while since we've heard that at the NZX, so it was kind of exciting. The share price was issued at 79 cents, opened at 82 cents, finished the day actually at 80. No, it traded as high as 83 cents, closed at 79. So closed basically where the issue price was. But that really reflects the market overall. Our market was a little changed. Asia's a bit down at the moment. Commodity prices have kind of sunk optimism on the global economy. So our NZX top 50 index ended down almost 0.2%, 13 points at 7,366. The dollar was little change, and it was, again, has a bit of a soft tone to it. 68.7 US cents, 93.1 Australian, and 53.1 British pound.
Nona Peltier, thank you for a very good week of covering business news for us. We really appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend.
And you.
Nona's going to exit the studio, and Edward Gay is going to join us from the court. Lots of feedback coming in on Pike. Why would the families lie? Asked Diana. Absolutely deplorable that the government and government agencies keep up the spin on how hard they've tried to keep the families informed. Time to stop it and get those families peace. Ken says, I believe the only reason the broke government-funded company bought the pipeline was to be able to disaster manage and cover up at the expense of the families who lost loved ones. And another Diana says, I absolutely believe the paperwork shows police did everything right, but paperwork isn't always reality. Thank you for all of your feedback. We appreciate it. Let's go to Edward Gay, who was moved into the seat vacated only seconds ago by Nona Peltier. Lynn Abraham, you've been here a few months this weekend. We're talking about this case. So she was charged 11 charges of assaulting children in her care, found guilty of how many?
Of 10, John. And I mean, we heard at trial from 3 of her former colleagues, and they detailed evidence against Abraham. She smacked children on the hand and she force-fed others. But none of them blew the whistle, and despite some of the allegations dating back to 2012. Now,
so it's an interesting thing. So they sat in court this week, and they were strong witnesses, right?
They were.
Okay, but this, right? Okay, but they didn't blow the whistle at the time.
Ministry of Education to alert police and Child, Youth and Family. Now, just why the 3 teachers kept quiet wasn't actually answered at trial, although one of the teachers, Ines Miranda, was asked why she didn't raise her concerns with Abraham. She told the court that she wasn't a qualified teacher, that Abraham was the manager, her senior, and she felt that Abraham must know what she was doing. The RNZ News has sought comment from the Ministry of Education about what training was in place for early childhood teachers and if they were looking into this issue. We haven't heard back from them.
Right, very good point, because if someone early on after incident 1 had said, "Oi, this is out of order," then there wouldn't have been a trial in district court this week, right? Okay, what was the one charge that Lynn Abraham was cleared of?
She was cleared of this charge of sellotaping a child's mouth shut, and this child had, according to the evidence we heard in court, had been noisy. Abraham told him to be quiet. She then went away and threatened the child with sellotape, came back with the sellotape, and then the teacher, her colleague, later saw this child with sellotape on his mouth. Now, the jury actually cleared her of that charge. All other 10, though, they came back guilty. They are the smacking of a hand, the force feeding, the washing another child's mouth out with soap, who had been swearing at a teacher. So that's the mix. 10 guilty, 1.
It's really high, isn't it?
Oh, it's very intense. You got to train hard, and when you do train hard, it's like the training is the hardest part of the fight. Once you get in the ring, it's about enjoying yourself. It's like a reward for all the hard work you've been doing. But it is intense. It's training 3 times